Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm sharing a guest bedroom makeover where we transformed our old home office into a hotel-inspired retreat. Whether you're hosting family, friends, or Airbnb guests, I'll walk you through step by step how I turned this underused space into a cozy, functional, and stylish guest room. From repurposing furniture to adding layered lighting, luxe bedding, and even a few Airbnb friendly touches, this makeover will show you exactly how to achieve a high-end look on a budget. Disclaimer, this video does contain affiliate links. With the holidays here, you're probably hosting or thinking about hosting, so this video is perfect because it's going to show you exactly how you can create a luxurious hotel experience on a budget working with things that you already have, because that's exactly what we did in this space. Before we begin, let me give you a little backstory. We actually did this guest bedroom makeover back in 2019, which was during the peak of Airbnb. At the time, we were in a transition stage of becoming empty nesters. We had remodeled our house back in 2005, and now our last child was about to go off to college, so we had more space than we needed. We decided to change the home office space, which had a separate entrance, into a guest bedroom slash Airbnb. That chapter has come to an end and we quit Airbnb. So now it's just a guest bedroom. In the future, I may change it again as our needs evolve, which is why I thought it would be helpful to others to document the process I went through and what it looks like today. So let's get started. Number one, inspiration and planning. For me, the first step in any design project is to figure out the look and feel I'm going for. Since this was going to be a guest room and Airbnb, I wanted it to feel like a boutique hotel experience, something cozy but elevated. The main inspiration for this room came from Hotel White Lisboa, hopefully I'm saying that right, which is in Portugal. I just fell in love with its contemporary style, neutral color palette, crisp white bedding, and those soft gray accents. It had such a clean, sophisticated vibe with this really open, expansive feel that I knew would be perfect for our guest room. The neutral palette wasn't just stylish, it's super practical too. It's the kind of look that appeals to a wide range of people, which was key for making our listing stand out when guests were scrolling through the app. That was the jumping off point for the whole design to create that boutique hotel vibe while still keeping it fresh and inviting. For help finding your design style, take the quiz in the description below. From there, I created a mood board and started to pull together the actual pieces for the design. Since we were on a tight budget, the goal was to repurpose items we already had to achieve a similar look for less. Next, I moved on to the floor plan. Using a computerized program, I laid out the space and decided to use two full-size beds that we already had from my kids' bedrooms. They had moved out, so the beds were kind of just sitting there unused. Plus, we repurposed those rooms as well. The ideal was to create a double bed Airbnb listing. Since we only hosted two people at a time, this setup was perfect because it allowed friends to travel together without having to share a bed, which made the listing much more attractive. Once the floor plan was finalized, I created a perspective drawing to really visualize how the space would come together. I highly recommend you do not skip this step. It's such a game changer for planning your design and making sure everything works together. This is actually one of the processes I teach in my course, Design a Home 101, where I walk you through how to create your own floor plans and mood boards step by step. If this is something that you're interested in, you could check it out by clicking the link in the description below. While you're there, also download a copy of the free How to Measure and Create a Floor Plan for help designing your space. 2. Setting the foundation. With the design complete, the next step was to empty the room so we could paint. We went with classic gray for the walls and simply white for the trim. These colors created the perfect, calm, neutral backdrop for the space. Now, we have hardwood floors throughout our entire house, so at first, we didn't bother with an area rug. But once we started hosting, we quickly realized that having a rug would not only add warmth, but also help with noise control. We ended up reusing floor tiles that we already had in the basement for this room, which made a huge difference. It doesn't match the color palette perfectly, but we had it, so that's what we used. If I were buying new, I'd go with something more like this option from Lowe's, which I'll link below. Since we were sticking to a budget, I made do with what we had. The great thing about carpet tiles is that you can create a custom elevated look with the cozy feel of wall-to-wall carpet, all without breaking the bank, because it's super affordable. And you could do it yourself. 3. Let's talk about the beds and bedding. We already had the mattress, box spring, and metal frame. To keep the cost down, I ordered this headboard from Amazon and added a white bed skirt. I actually turned the headboard around because I wanted a straight, clean edge at the top. That's a little design hack for you. You could always change things around. Looking back though, I wish I had spent a little more on an upholstered headboard and frame because it gives you a more elevated look. The bed skirts haven't really held up over time because they've torn, which is super annoying because then I have to sew them and try to fix them. So I highly recommend getting the upholstered frame with the headboard attached if at all possible. Both options are linked below so you could decide which works best for your needs. Since we were repurposing the beds we already had, I wanted to make sure they were protected. I purchased fully encased mattress protectors for both the mattress and box spring. Then I added a fitted mattress protector on top of that. I also got pillow protectors so that I'd only have to wash the pillowcases, not the actual pillows. We all know how pillows can start to look over time, but with these protectors, they've stayed as good as new. To match the inspiration images, I just went with white sheets and a duvet for a clean, crisp look. Each bed has 4 pillows, and that's it. No extra decorative pillows because I knew they just end up on the floor. I do have some that are firm and some that are soft, so depending on how people like their pillows, there's both. In the beginning, I had the faux fur throws at the foot of the bed for a chic layered look, but I quickly put those off to the side because it cut down on the amount of laundry I had to do. When creating your guest room, it's all about that balance between style and practicality. We wanted to make sure that the room was as functional as it was stylish for our guests. One of the essential items I added was a luggage rack. It's a small detail that makes a big difference so guests have a place to unpack their suitcase other than putting it on the floor. It keeps everything organized and also off of the bed so that the duvet stays clean because we know how people like to put their suitcase on top of the bed and then you get marks on your duvet. It's an easy space-saving solution that helps create that hotel vibe that we were after. Before we continue, for anyone new, I'm Nikki D, your go-to resource for design inspiration to make your home look like you hired a designer. If you love all things interior design, make sure to hit that bell and subscribe to the channel for a new video every Sunday. Links to everything shared in today's video are on the description below. Number 4, furniture and decor. In the original mood board and perspective drawing, I had black nightstands in mind, but instead I just painted side tables that we already had and used those instead. They're the perfect size for a small table lamp and coaster for drinks. If I were buying new, I would have gone with matching nightstands and table lamps for a more cohesive look, but these were a budget-friendly, stylish solution that worked great for our space. Another piece I repurposed was the black desk from my daughter's old bedroom. It fits perfectly in the room, and I paired it with a lucite chair I got at HomeGoods, which was similar to the vibe of the inspiration images. I also added a soft fur throw over the chair to bring in some texture and make it more comfortable. Having a workspace is a must for creating a functional guest experience, especially when we were hosting through Airbnb because it was during the time when people were working from home. For lighting, this room features layered lighting, which is also super important for both functionality and ambiance. At first, I had a desk lamp on the workspace, but I moved it to the side table for task lighting next to the bed. The Capiz lamp in the corner is another piece from my daughter's old room that adds mood lighting and is perfect for this space. For overhead lighting, we installed LED ceiling fans because this room tends to be one of the warmest in the house. With the 9-foot ceilings, I went with fans that had a down rod extension, so it brought it down a little bit, which has been great for circulating air and keeping the room cool during the summer months. They add comfort while complementing the overall design. 5. Window treatments. Roller blinds are a great option for adding privacy and light control. We started off with roller blinds paired with floor-to-ceiling curtain panels, which was actually an IKEA hack. I stitched down the exposed tabs at the top to create hidden tabs for a more elevated look. We installed the curtain rod high to the ceiling, which draws your eye up and accentuates the room's ceiling height. I was inspired by the luxury New York City spaces Cheryl Eisen of IMG Design, so that's the look I was going for. But if hanging your rod this high is too dramatic, then just come down 2 to 4 inches from the ceiling line or your crown molding, and that's going to give you an elevated look as well. To customize the linen curtain panels, I hemmed them to the perfect length and added contrasting grosgrain ribbon trim to give them a tailored high-end look. Tall curtains can be super expensive, but this was a really affordable DIY project that anyone could do. Floor-to-ceiling curtain panels add extra privacy and a polished, sophisticated look to a space. One challenge we did face was I have a neighbor whose sensor light is on all night long. A guest mentioned it in the comments, so we added paper blackout shades behind the roller blinds. The simple peel and stick blinds solved the problem and made it more functional for guests who need total darkness to get a good night's sleep. It was such an easy, budget-friendly solution for privacy and light control. Originally, we had a separate air conditioning unit in the room so guests could control the temperature separately from the main house. That helped keep the cost down because then we didn't have to have the central air on for the entire first floor when we were upstairs. Now that it's no longer an Airbnb, we've removed it, but it was a great feature for creating a more comfortable and customized stay. 6. Entertainment and amenities. Now I'm going to let you in on a little guest room secret. We only have a Fire Stick with Netflix on the TV. There is no regular cable, no TV shows, no news, just Netflix. The reason is because one, I didn't want to pay for another cable box, but also because I didn't want guests hanging out in the room. This was more of a concern when we were hosting on Airbnb, not for friends and family, because obviously they're not hanging out in the room. While we were okay with people staying overnight, we didn't want them to get too comfortable and just sit in the room. To be honest, it's more uncomfortable for us because we have to be quiet, watch what we say because the walls are thin, and it's honestly inconvenient for days when I was trying to film YouTube videos. If you decide to go that route, just make sure that it's clearly listed on your Airbnb listings so guests know exactly what to expect. This way, they're not surprised when they book and there's no regular TV. And despite it being in your listing, you will still get asked that question, but then at least you're covered. Here are a few other amenities we added that are more for Airbnb guests since friends and family most likely have access to your kitchen. People staying with us through Airbnb did not have access to our kitchen. So we added a mini fridge that we had from when my son went to college, a microwave after a guest suggested it, and a Keurig coffee maker along with an electric teapot. We also have a 3-drawer table to hold coffee pods, to-go cups, wine glasses, utensils, sugar, a can opener, napkins, paper towels, and other kitchen essentials. There's also a wooden box on top of the microwave that has a variety of tea bags for guests to enjoy. Aside from the mini kitchen area, there's also an iron, mini ironing board, laundry basket, and even a basket that has towels in it since we're close to the beach. These small touches really help make the guest room more functional and comfortable for anyone staying with us. We used to have a closet area in this room, but when we remodeled, it was removed. To make up for that, we added a freestanding clothes rack, which is a practical and stylish solution so guests can hang their clothes during their stay. There's also a floor-length over-the-door mirror, which is a must in a guest room, in my opinion, so guests can get ready and check themselves before heading out. It's a small detail that definitely adds to the overall experience. Plus, I highly believe it's all these small extra little details that helped us earn 5-star reviews and achieve Superhost status. Just saying. 7. Final touches. Now let's talk about the decor. This is the finishing touch that really completes a space. To add personality and set the tone for this room, I added this inhale, exhale vinyl decal right above the bed. I actually have a whole blog tutorial on how to create this that I linked below if you're interested in doing something similar. I also created this gallery wall that's full of inspirational quotes, positive messages, and images that reflect the local area, like this New York City skyline print. It's all about creating a vibe that feels welcoming and uplifting. I also found this Wi-Fi password artwork at HomeGoods, which was perfect for guests because then they don't have to ask you what the password is when they arrive, because that's always like the first or second question. It's one of those little details that really make a big difference in the overall design and help set the right tone for the space. Of course, not everything is fancy artwork. There's also little notes throughout the room that remind the guests to shut off the fan when they leave or to be mindful of the squeaky floor. These small touches help them feel at ease, but remind them to take care of the space while adding to the overall guest room experience. It was super important to me, especially when hosting on Airbnb, to attract like-minded people and only invite positive energy into our home. 8. The reveal. Now for the big reveal. As you can see, this guest room has completely transformed into a boutique hotel-inspired space with neutral tones, elevated curtains, and a clean, inviting bed. The room feels more open and welcoming with the fresh paint and thoughtful design touches. It's also functional with the luggage rack, freestanding clothes rack, and mini kitchen area. The small details like the iron, beach towels, and full-length mirror make it feel like a true guest retreat. This room is attached to an ensuite bathroom that you can see in this video, which makes it even more convenient and private for guests. And that, my friends, is a wrap. You've seen how we turned this old office into a luxurious functional guest room on a budget. From repurposed furniture to design details, we created a welcoming, stylish space for any guest. Whether you're hosting friends, family, or Airbnb guests, this makeover shows you how to achieve a high-end look without breaking the bank. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this inspires your guest room makeover. If you're still feeling overwhelmed with the thought of designing your guest room, sign up for my course, Design a Home 101. It's a step-by-step guide that goes through everything you need to know to make your home look expensive, from finding your style to adding the finishing touches that make a home feel complete. Click the link in the description below to learn more and sign up today. You'll also find links to everything shared in today's video, including my storefronts and LTK shop, plus a blog post that you can save to Pinterest and refer back to at any time. Lastly, if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend. For more design tips and inspiration, check out this video next. Love you all so much, and I'll see you next Sunday. Until then, happy designing. Ciao.